2021 has been an absolutely insane year for Vocaloid and music in general, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably know at least a few bangers that dropped this year. And if not, I'd like to share some of my favorite songs with you from this wild year, 2021. While I certainly haven't heard everything that came out in the last 300-something days, I definitely have some good stuff to show off today, so I hope you'll stick around to see what I've got up my sleeve. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Time to set some of the ground rules that I'm going to be following from here on out. I'm going to list off a handful of my favorite songs from this year that either use Vocaloid or involve well-known Vocaloid producers in some way, with one exception, but we'll get to that later. Basically, there are going to be plenty of human voices to accompany the vocal synths. Also, Vocaloid will be used as a blanket term to refer to all vocal synth music in general. It's like calling all tissues Kleenex or all soda Coke. It's definitely incorrect, but you get the point. Anyway, I've got 10-ish songs to show off and plenty of honorable mentions too. I really struggled narrowing my list down solely by which songs were my favorite, so in order to get a number of songs that was close to 30 down to 10, I decided that every song on this list needed to be one that taught me something about Vocaloid, music more broadly, or even about myself as a person. So for every place on this list, I'll present a lesson I learned, or at the very least a notable experience I had with the song. Also, there will be one artist per placement because otherwise there would only be like 4 artists on this entire list. And lastly, this is not in any concrete or definitive order, but I will be saving the very best of the best for last place, so please stick around until then to see what it is. Who knows, my pick might surprise you, or maybe it won't. I guess you'll have to watch and find out. But of course, I do love every single song that I'm about to talk about to pieces. This is the best of 2021 list after all. Anyway, that's enough of the boring rules. Let's just jump into things with our first song. We're starting off our list strong with Phony by Sumiki. Besides being one of the catchiest Vocaloid songs all year, what makes Phony so notable is its utilization of Kafu, a brand new vocal synth for CVOI that was released earlier this year. The new voice bank has been all over the Vocaloid space leading up to and following its launch in July, as quite a few major Vocaloid producers have been releasing songs with Kafu all year. As for the song itself, Phony is easily some of Sumiki's best work. The song never gets boring and is always hitting the listener with little curveballs to keep the listening experience constantly fresh. Once it really gets going, Phony never stops. Between the instrumental and the vocals, there's nothing not to love. This is one I always find myself looping because listening to it once is just never enough. Kafu was a huge part of Vocaloid this year, and Phony was the song that really sold me on the new voice bank. I know that's kind of a silly lesson to start off with, but I think it's well earned, all things considered. I can't wait to see how producers use Kafu going into 2022, and you know what, I'm sure you can't wait for me to move on to the next spot. Well, calm down, and watch your tone. You don't even know me at all. I don't even know where to begin with For Blood by Kira. I'm addicted, honestly. I love Kira's music, and it feels like with each release, he pushes the limits of English Vocaloid music further and further every time. I was fully prepared to put his song White as a Heartbreak on this list, but when For Blood dropped, it managed to immediately surpass my already high expectations for Kira. This song showed me that the Western Vocaloid scene is alive and still kicking, and not only can it hold its own against the biggest Japanese releases, it can give them a run for their money too. For Blood is the dictionary definition of infectious. The song sounds like Miku picked up Devilman Crybaby soundtrack by the throat and started spitting some of the hottest bars this side of hell straight into its face. The whole time you're stuck in a whirlpool of pulsing bass and synthesizers while Hatsune Miku starts hurling neon-colored pop star death threats at you. What's there not to love? This is without a doubt Kira at his very best, and if you were at any point in your life apprehensive about English Vocaloid music, please give this song the chance to change your mind. From 4 Blood to More Blood, we're moving on to our next song, Bloody Mary by KonKon. Bloody Mary is like a crazy, grimy party, wilder than the entire Animal Kingdom. With infectious music by none other than Fake Type, it'll keep you dancing till the dance floor runs red. KonKon is a super talented utaite, and while this song itself has no direct connections to Vocaloid, KonKon does have a history with various Vocaloid songs and producers herself, so honestly I'm just gonna include it because it's too much fun to pass up on a technicality. KonKon's vocals have so much variety in Bloody Mary, from her powerful singing that steals away your attention in the chorus, to her energetic rapping in the verses. Bloody Mary is a wildly fun time the whole way through, and KonKon never lets you forget who's at the top of the food chain. Like an open wound, I could gush for hours about this song, but we've got a lot left to cover, so would you mind bandaging that up? It's really disgusting. The silly little lesson that I learned from Bloody Mary is to just click on the thumbnails with the crazy looking art, because even if you don't know what it is or who made it, you might just end up having a bloody good time. Man, talking about blood for so long really sucks. The Vampire by Deco27 taught me just how addictive a song can be. I genuinely listened to this song over 30 times on the day it came out, and it still hasn't gotten old. The Vampire is bouncy, energetic, and sounds sweet like sugar, but not in a wholesome way. I mean, Deco somehow keeps managing to find ways to make Miku sound even better, and some of the high notes that she and the guitars hit sound so good that they make my heart squeeze. Deco and Rockwell really killed it with the instrumentals this time around. The song sounds like a breath of fresh air for Deco's style, and really stands out from the crowd and the wider Vocaloid space altogether. You can hear this new style continue into Deco's next song, Cinderella, which took me a while to like at all, but now I kinda love it. Well, not enough for it to surpass the Vampire, that would just be silly. But this is the beginning of an exciting new direction for Deco, and I personally can't wait to see where he takes things next. The Vampire is really the full package as far as Vocaloid songs go, but whatever you do, don't let her get too close, because once she sinks her teeth into you, you might just get addicted too. Egoist has had a little bit of a bumpy few years recently, but it seems like this year, the group is finally starting to get somewhat back on track, and it was with the release of Zettai Zetsumei that I really started to feel that. Though the legendary Ryo from Supercell is no longer making all the songs for the group, the vocalist Shelly shows that she's able to bring the work of any producer to life. She is nothing short of incredible, and I hope someday I'll get the chance to talk about her and Egoist more in depth, but for now, let's just talk about Zettai Zetsumei. The song was actually produced by M2U, and he absolutely kills it here. I love the use of the traditional string instruments paired with the hard-hitting electronic bass and hi-hats. It's a really interesting tonal contrast that blends together incredibly well, and Shelly's stunning vocals really tie everything together in a way that's truly spectacular. I somehow didn't know this until a little while after the song was released, but it was actually made for the game Azur Lane, which I don't know a thing about. But I think regardless of the circumstances of its creation, Zettai Zetsumei shows that even with Ryo taking a step back from the group, Egoist is still very much alive and kicking. Jin is without a doubt my favorite Vocaloid producer, and while his offerings this year were a bit sparse, he never disappointed. Children Record Reboot was an incredible reimagining of one of his most iconic songs from the Kagero project, and as a whole, it served as an amazing return to form. And it's not my pick for this year. Jin is without a doubt my favorite Vocaloid producer, but he's also so much more to me. Jin is my favorite artist altogether. There's a very specific feeling of magic that comes over me when I listen to Jin, a feeling that no one else has ever made me feel before or since, not even my other favorite producers or any artists in general. It's a wonderful feeling of butterflies in the setting summer sun, a warm, nostalgic feeling from the sound of the music that takes me back to an old place lost to time, but one all too familiar. A place cast in long shadows where, despite its warmth, you know you can never visit. A place so vivid and beautiful, it could only exist in those old, nostalgic memories themselves. That is what Jin means to me. Not the Kagero Project, not even Vocaloid. I love Jin's music for Jin's music itself in the one-of-a-kind way that it makes me feel. The song that I ultimately picked for this list really put things in perspective for me and helped me realize just what makes his music so special to me. And that's why my favorite Jin song this year was After Story, a song he sang himself and has nothing to do with the Kagero Project. Now, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy the Kagero Project. Hell, Additional Memory is my favorite song of all time, but that isn't because it's part of the Kagero Project. It's because of how the song sounds and the emotions that that sound makes me feel. After Story sounds like the quintessential Jin song to me. It's nothing revolutionary for Jin, but it's still more than enough for me. It just has that magical, nostalgic sound I love, with wonderfully heartfelt vocals from the man himself. After Story definitely won't blow everyone's mind, but to me, it's still nothing short of enchanting. Now, I would have put Jin's place a little bit further up on the list, just because of how much it means to me. But I decided to move it down because I think that bit of context is really needed to do this pretty late addition justice. I miss out on a lot of great Vocaloid music just because I'm not really part of the Vocaloid community. I don't know, I'm just not really a fandom guy. I mostly just find the big producers I like, stick to them, and keep to myself. But when I was planning this video, I decided to ask around in the community just a little bit to see if maybe there were some great songs this year that had flown under my radar, because I know that there definitely were, and I am so glad that I did. I got sent a bunch of great songs, but the one that genuinely caught me off guard and utterly captivated me was Oyasumi Nation by Ippo TSK. I had never actually heard a song with Eleanor Forte until this, but I was really blown away by Ippo TSK's tuning. The lyrics are incredibly memorable, the vocals are spot on, even the video is super charming too. But what genuinely shocked me about Oyasumi Nation was the way that it felt. I was stunned when I listened to it for the first time, and as the title card came out, the guitar and synths both kicked up, and for just a moment, I felt those same butterflies. Oyasumi Nation has some of the most heart that I've ever heard in any song, Vocaloid or not. Ippo TSK really knocked it out of the park and into the sun with this one. It really goes to show that big producers aren't the only ones who can make masterpieces. If there is any song on this entire list that you should listen to and show the creator some support, please let it be this one. At the time of writing this, Oyasumi Nation is sitting at less than 4,000 views. That's honestly got to be a crime or something. Please go give this song a listen and just show Ippo TSK some love for me. They really deserve it for making this hidden gem that shines brighter than all the stars in the cosmos. Please don't let this one fly under your radar like I almost did. I promise you won't regret it. Alright, so I'm sure that some of you have been waiting for this one. It's time to talk about Ado. I've already spoken about her at length on this channel a few months ago, and I'm pretty sure it's not surprising to anyone who's seen that video that the Utaite turned chart-topping solo artist would get a spot here. She's given us hit after hit this year, and I was fully prepared to talk once again about her song Odo. But then, to my surprise, she went and topped it. I seriously thought that Ado and Giga were an unbeatable combination, but Neru really burst in and threw a desk at my head for thinking anything of the sort because Ashura-chan is honestly just phenomenal. Otto brings so much power and attitude to the song while also giving a performance that still maintains the instrumental's fun and upbeat sound. And Neru brings his A game too. The lyrics are as cynical as ever, but are still paired with that upbeat sound for a winning combination with an interesting contrast. You can party with the captions off, or you can start catching Neru's contagious frustration when you turn them on. But either way, Ashura-chan gives you so much to sink your teeth into on every front. It's a full-course meal worth devouring, and yet another release that goes to show Otto is nothing short of unstoppable. Over the last year, I have fallen head over heels for Pseudo's music. After exploring his library, he's become one of my favorite Vocaloid producers. But the songs that made me love his music so much are actually the ones that he sings himself. Pseudo has one of the most interesting and unique voices I have ever heard in my entire life, and I genuinely cannot get enough of it. And pairing that incredible voice of his with a musical style that is just as much, if not even more unique, is like a match made in heaven. What really cemented Pseudo as an artist worth keeping an intent eye on for me was this song, Bakusho. I kid you not. I was in the middle of a Zoom call with my camera and microphone off when I listened to this song for the first time, and I was so shocked by how great it was that I started shouting like I was at Avengers Endgame on opening night. The way that the vocals start muffled and are paired with a really fast hi-hat beat that's so insanely intense is so good. The way that Pseudo rolls his R's, the way that the guitar peaks in and out of the verses, his shouts, his laugh, everything in this song hits just right. It's a total blast to listen to, and really, really hard not to lose myself in. Like, what more can I say? Pseudo just hits different. So, we finally reached our top spot. The very best of the best in 2021. Once again, I'm sure there are plenty of you who saw this one coming. Do I even need to introduce it? Unmei by Harumaki Gohan and Miru Kajitsu. What else did you expect? This song hit me like nothing else I'd ever felt before listening to music. It's still just as good as when I made a whole video gushing about it for honestly way too long, but I love this song. It's such a dark and intense experience for Harumaki Gohan's style, and it's captivating for every second. I have no complaints. It's perfect. I'd also like to say that Franken X, the other song that the pair worked on for the collaboration album Chimera, was also a top contender for this list. It's honestly just so much fun to listen to, and I think I do listen to it more often than Unmei, but it just doesn't have the same weight for me personally. Hearing Unmei for the first time was an experience that I will not soon forget, and I think for that alone, it deserves a place at the top of this list. So, yeah, I kind of already said everything that I felt about this song when it was released, so I won't repeat myself too much. You can go watch that video if you want to know all of my thoughts about that and whatever else about Harumaki Gohan, but that's it. Unmei was the best song of 2021. Well, actually, I lied. At the tail end of November, when I was just getting ready to put this list together, something happened that changed everything for me. Unmei was a lock for first place. There's no way that a song could just arrive fashionably late and steal away the top spot, right? Right? That's right. The best song of the entire year was a remix of a song that didn't even make the cut. Cinderella Giga First Night Remix. I must say though, while original Recipe Cinderella is very much a Deco song, this remix is very much not. Just like Giga's remix of Android Girl from last year, this remix of Cinderella is made completely from the ground up. The instrumentals are new like any old remix, but what makes these ones so special is that Giga actually did brand new tuning for them himself, too. Giga's tuning for Miku might be my favorite of any producer currently working with her. I don't even know if I'm still, high off of the excitement of this song actually existing, but, Miku sounds so cool, so unimaginably cool. The voice effects, the flow on the rap sections, and just like the tone of her voice in general, it's all just so cool. It makes me so ridiculously happy. I have been dying for more songs in the style of Giga's Android Girl remix ever since I first heard it, and to finally get a song from him that just surpasses it entirely astounds me. This song is all I ever wanted, and I never even saw it coming. When I played it for the first time, I audibly squealed and started kicking my legs back and forth as fast as I could, like I was a toddler or something. I love Unmei with all my heart, but this song, well...
This is something else.
Impulsive or not, I declare Cinderella Giga First Night Remix as the best song of 2021. I really wish I could have mentioned every single song that I loved from this year today, but I needed to cut down on what I talked about at length, or else I'd be working on this video until it was time to make a best of 2022 list. While I didn't get to talk about songs like Pamela, The Third Heart, Envy Baby, Not Photogenic, Anti-Systems, and many more, I put everything that I mentioned today and plenty of other songs that made my year into a playlist. I'd be really happy if you went and checked it out, and if you do, I hope you find something there that you can fall in love with. I'll link the playlist in the description and at the end of this video if you're interested. Thank you all for sticking with me to the end of this video. I really, really appreciate it. I've still missed out on so many great releases over the last, 12 months? That's how many are in a year, right? So I'd really love to know, what songs made your year? They don't have to be Vocaloid, they don't even have to be Japanese, just what were your favorite songs that came out this year? I'd really love to hear from you down in the comments below. Your opinion means a lot to me. Well, I guess that wraps up 2021. It's been a crazy year for music and for Vocaloid, and for me too. I finally got my YouTube channel up and off the ground this year, and I am so grateful for the response that I've gotten from you guys. This support has been overwhelming and mind-blowing. Thank you so much for all the likes and the comments and the subscribes, and especially those nice comments. I see every comment, and you guys are so kind. Thank you so much. I am not worthy. I've been sitting here for 45 minutes trying to record the right outro. I had a whole speech planned before, but I've come to the realization now that the best way to, actually get my feelings across is to condense all of my boundless gratitude to every last one of you into 4 magic words. Thank you for watching. Alright, this is the part where the funny outro music plays.